Dan, software development teams today are in a continuous state of release, basically. So if you have release anxiety, that's a significant problem. And what contributes to that is the ability to do your testing the same way you would have done when you only had a quarterly release. And a lot of those teams simply admit that this is not realistic. We can't do all of those tests that we used to do when we still had time and relatively more staff working on these tasks. So, how can artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning help us out of this conundrum?
Absolutely. I think there's two aspects that really shine light on how visual AI can help out with us. One is accessibility. Accessibility is a huge aspect of compliance and a lot of legal um, uh, businesses. Think about educational system. Your website has to be accessible. Contrast and colors have to be perfect.
Hmm.
Visual AI can help with all of that. We can fail builds that have contrasting aspects that don't pass at A11Y rules and subsets for, again, governments and educational systems. And the second point is really around the compliance of what is allowed on the website and what is not allowed. And not just on the software engineering side, but also think about marketing or investor relations. You can think about a
Yeah.
public company that needs to have
Yeah.
their latest S1 or their new S1 coming out on the website that the engineering team has no idea that that is getting changed out, right? It's coming from CMS maybe that they're not privy to any changes. Visual AI can still solve all of those problems. We can still take that baseline. We can take our OCR algorithms, PDFs for us
Hmm.
are no problem. We can test PDF just as we can a web app with HTML. So all of that we can make sure are compliant at all times.
So when you are looking for the presence of a disclaimer, you can't just tell that it's there, but you can also tell if it's roughly in the right place and if it's the correct version.
Exactly, that downloaded. And you can download the file or you can open it up and again scan it with our visual AI. Like there's two ways to kind of skin the cat there, but we do feel like again visual AI is the easiest, quickest way to keep up with all those changes, especially in a fast environment.
And you, of course, can also interact with me because there may be things that I'm doing wrong that are not worth stopping the entire workflow. And you can, so to say, judge through the AI if this should just be flagged and a warning and maybe, highlighted to my team. Or you can say, oh no, that's bad enough. It's a legal liability. Let's stop that process.
Exactly. If something like a date may not or fail build, we can let that go and just flag it. But if something like a 5,000 document PDF has tremendously wrong aspect of a paragraph,
Hmm.
like that's something where we really shine with our scale, right?
Hmm.
Those 5,000 pages we can look at in seconds, make sure it looks just like another document instead of reading through it laboriously with your reading glasses.
So if I commit a terrible violation like using pie charts in a report for my boss who really only likes simple bar charts, then you can catch me every time because you simply recognize, oh, that's a pie chart and that's against policy.